This, in case you're wondering, this is a show called Tony Carnevale's Greatest Hits. And you might be asking yourself, what is Tony Carnevale's Greatest Hits? And if you're me, and Ars Nova asks you that question, and they ask you it in an email, and they specifically ask you for a general show description, something we can write a nice blurb from, for instance. That might be a phrase they might use. You might write this blurb. Tony Carnevale's Greatest Hits. Tony Carnevale spends his days writing ads for Viagra, and his nights writing songs that have almost nothing to do with Viagra. Tonight he performs some of those songs for you, using a piano, a computer, and his own voice. Now I know it's not showy, it's not ornate, it's pretty simple. Maybe it's not all that exciting. Perhaps when one is oneself, one doesn't have the perspective to write a really captivating blurb about one's own show. Because if you were to ask Ars Nova what is Tony Carnevale's Greatest Hits, and you might look here, and this is this winter, spring. This is a beautiful thing, by the way. Connect with what's next. Ars Nova. Here's how they would describe it. See if I can find it. Here we go. Tony Carnevale's Greatest Hits. He spends his days writing Viagra ads and his nights writing nearly Viagra-free songs. So far, so good. But when you hear Tony Carnevale's geektastic lyrics rumble through that sweet baritone, you'll buy whatever stimulating ephemera he's selling. Somebody went to Yale. Join Tony, a piano, and his computer for a hilarious evening of music. You'll be left humming to yourself for hours upon nerdy hours. Now, you might think that the use of either geektastic or nerdy would suffice. Now, you really need both of those words in there. Both of the words need to be in that description. Now here's the thing. Clearly I've embraced my persona of nerd. Persona is not even the right word for it, because persona implies that you choose to willingly adopt something. I'm a nerd. I'm happy to be a nerd. Let's be honest. All my friends are nerds. The most interesting people in the world are nerds. But here's the situation. Basically, my life is these are the things that are exciting me. I recently bought the complete series, all 9 seasons of Everybody Loves Raymond. That's what I did. These are the things which bring me happiness. I wish I was making this up. I ordered 3 boxes of Samoas, the Girl Scout cookie Samoas from a coworker. That's fine. And I wish this was an exaggeration, and anyway, it's not. Every morning I wake up thinking, oh, maybe today the Samoas will arrive. That's seriously what I think. So, I understand that these things are maybe nerdy things, but on the other hand, when one's life is consumed by these kind of mundane pleasures, and I enjoy them, I'm not ashamed or sad about them. When you get asked by a cool theater, this is an amazing venue, I'm so excited to be here. When you get asked to do a show, you momentarily get a delusion of like, oh, maybe now I'm a rock star. Maybe I'm cool now. And then no, you're nerdy and geektastic. And for a moment, I actually entertained the thought of calling Ars Nova, because that blurb went up online before they printed that thing. So I could have called and said, do you really need to say both? Do you need both of those adjectives? Do you really, just for the sake of economy of writing, do you need both of those adjectives? I mean, and then I thought, do I want to be the guy who's nerdy and geektastic, or do I want to be the guy who couldn't handle being called nerdy and geektastic? So I decided to be okay with being called nerdy and geektastic. Here's Time Out New York from this week. Tony Carnevale's Greatest Hits. Comedian and lyricist Tony Carnevale, ad man by day, presents his collection of self-dubbed nerdy songs.